You ever watched a dog struggle to take a single step and felt something deeply unsettling because what appears on the surface as simple discomfort often hides a much deeper story beneath the coat, the skin, and the silent language of the body? In many cases, severe matting becomes more than just a grooming issue. It transforms into a physical barrier that reshapes posture, limits mobility, and slowly erodes the natural grace every dog is born with. As we begin this journey of understanding, it is important to recognize that what we see as tangled fur is actually a tightening web that pulls against muscles when joints, restricting movement in ways many owners do not immediately notice. The subtle changes begin when a dog shortens its stride, hesitates on stairs, or avoids playful movement altogether. These early signals are often mistaken for aging or fatigue, yet beneath this surface, something more complex is unfolding in the quiet observation of veterinary professionals, including the teachings inspired by Dr. Herrenbecker. We learned that skin and coat health directly reflects internal balance and external care. When mats tighten over time, they begin to act like invisible shackles, pulling the body out of alignment, forcing compensation in every step. What seems like a small neglect gradually evolves into a pattern of discomfort that the dog cannot verbally express. And this is where the story takes a deeper turn, because beneath the surface of grooming lies a silent struggle that many owners are completely unaware of until movement becomes visibly restricted. And the truth can no longer be ignored. At this point, what follows is often a gradual decline in mobility that can feel sudden to the observer, yet has been developing over weeks or even months of unnoticed mat formation as tension builds beneath the coat. The dog begins to adjust, its entire posture shifting, weight unevenly, and placing strain on joints that were never meant to carry such imbalance. This is not merely a cosmetic concern, it is a biomechanical disruption that can change the way a dog interacts with its environment, leading to hesitation, pain, and even emotional withdrawal from activities that once brought joy in the midst of this unfolding reality. A critical question emerges: how often do we overlook these silent transformations, assuming they are harmless, when in truth, they signal a deeper need for attentive care and thoughtful intervention? The perspective shared through practitioners influenced by Dr. Herrenbecker reminds us that prevention is always more powerful than correction, and that every strand of neglected fur can tell a story of comfort or distress depending on how we respond to it. The suspense in this journey deepens as we begin to explore what happens when movement is consistently restricted and the body starts to compensate in ways that are not immediately visible to the untrained eye. And this sets the stage for a closer examination of how grooming becomes a gateway back to natural mobility and restored comfort. And mobility, restored comfort, done cool. Behind the visible tangles of matted fur lies a deeper physiological story that unfolds slowly beneath the surface of the skin as circulation becomes restricted and airflow is reduced, creating an environment where discomfort is no longer occasional but constant and progressive in nature. What begins as simple neglect transforms into a layered physical challenge that affects not only movement but also emotional balance and behavioral expression. As the mats tighten, they pull on delicate skin, causing micro abrasions and hidden pressure points that remain unseen to the casual observer. And yet the dog experiences every moment of this tension in silence, adapting its posture in ways that signal distress without words or sound. And here is where the situation becomes more complex, because beneath the coat, another reality begins to form, one that many owners never anticipate until the dog suddenly resists touch, avoids movement, or shows signs of pain during routine handling. And at this moment, a critical truth emerges that transforms understanding of grooming from cosmetic care into essential medical awareness. But what remains hidden beneath the thickening mats is not just discomfort, but a progressive restriction of mobility that quietly alters joint alignment and muscular function, leading to compensatory movement patterns that strain the entire skeletal system. And while many might assume this is purely external research and veterinary insight inspired by Dr. Herrenbecker emphasizes that skin health often reflects internal well-being, making coat neglect an early warning system for deeper physiological imbalance. The suspense deepens when we consider how long a dog can silently endure this discomfort before outward signs become undeniable. And as grooming intervention finally begins, the transformation is often immediate, revealing restricted skin, releasing tension and posture, beginning to realign in ways that speak volumes about the importance of early care and attentive observation. As the grooming process continues, the body begins to respond in subtle yet powerful ways that reveal how deeply physical restriction had affected normal function. And what once appeared as simple stiffness now unfolds as a reversible condition when proper care is restored, allowing the dog to regain natural movement patterns that were suppressed under the weight of neglect. And as relief spreads through muscles, there is often a visible emotional shift that reflects the connection between physical comfort and mental calm, a connection frequently highlighted in holistic veterinary perspectives where Dr. Rebecca and similar practitioners stress the importance of addressing root causes rather than surface symptoms. And in this unfolding realization, viewers are encouraged to reflect on how easily such conditions can develop unnoticed until they reach a point of visible limitation, reminding us that attentive care is not optional, but essential for preserving long-term mobility and well-being in every companion animal. And this realization leaves a lasting impression on caregivers who witness the transformation from restricted movement to restored comfort and renewed energy, reinforcing the idea that small acts of care create profound differences in animal health and quality of life overall, period. Now, have you ever witnessed the moment a dog finally walks freely after being released from severe matting and understood that what appears as a grooming issue is actually a deep physical restriction that affects posture, balance, and natural movement because beneath the tangled coat, the skin tightens and pulls against muscles, creating discomfort that builds silently over time. And as this condition progresses, the dog begins to adjust its gait, shortening steps and avoiding pressure in ways that often go unnoticed by caregivers until mobility is clearly affected. And this gradual transformation reveals how closely physical comfort is tied to proper grooming care and attentive observation. And when we look deeper into these changes, we see that it doesn't not only affect movement, but also emotional well-being, as dogs in a constant tension may withdraw from play interaction and even human contact, as discomfort reshapes behavior in subtle ways. And this is where the importance of early recognition becomes critical, because intervention before severe matting develops can prevent a cascade of physical strain that affects the entire body system. And as highlighted in holistic veterinary perspectives inspired by Dr. Becker, the condition of the coat often reflects internal balance and external care, reminding us that grooming is not merely aesthetic, but essential to physical health and overall comfort. And as mats tighten further, they create pressure points that interfere with circulation and natural movement, leading to compensatory posture that strains joints and muscles over extended periods of time. And during grooming removal, these changes become immediately visible as the body begins to relax and regain its natural alignment, revealing just how much stress had been carried beneath the surface. And in some cases, this transformation happens quickly, almost dramatically, as relief spreads through muscles and joints, and the dog begins to move with a freedom that had been absent for weeks or even months. And this moment of recovery often carries an emotional shift as well, reflecting trust or relaxation and renewed comfort. And it becomes clear that care must always be consistent, because neglect can return quietly without notice and rebuild the same restrictions that once limited movement. And this cycle emphasizes the importance of daily attention, grooming, awareness, and responsible observation that prevents suffering before it begins. And now, as we reflect on everything learned, we recognize that true care is proactive, not reactive, and requires patience, consistency, and understanding of the silent signals that animals continuously communicate through movement, behavior, and posture. And this awareness ultimately leads to better quality of life and stronger bonds between humans and their companions, because every small act of care has the potential to create meaningful change when practiced consistently and with intention and compassion. And now, as we conclude this message and understand that prevention and awareness together form the foundation of lifelong canine well-being itself, always, if you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notifications so you can see our new videos early